Also, somebody in the comments, they wanted to know the process of PDP and signing on and the orientation and all that good stuff. So this is dedicated to that, and anybody else that may want to sign on with PDP, here's some information that I have for you. My information won't be as thorough as if you actually call and speak to Lindsay Garcia in the admin department, but this is going to be about the best that I can give you, based on what I can remember, since I don't deal with it day to day like she does. So here we go. As far as orientation goes, it's pretty simple. They only do it on Skype now. They don't do it in person anymore. That's been because of COVID. They just do it on Skype. They might have a few people in there. They deal with several different people that work at PDP. They'll come in and tell you what you need to know, and they'll tell you what you have to bring with you and things like that. And it's very cut and dry, very easy. You can do it at home, or if you have to be down there anyway, like say to get plates, and you don't want to waste any time, you can just sit in your truck and do it on your phone, whatever you want to do. Now this right here is just a list of things that you need to have with you when you want to get the RPO, which is what you need to get the plates. So this is, again, every state's different, but if you want to use Texas plates, if you want to use PDP's plates, then this is what you want to do. Now, of course, you can use your own plates if you want to from whatever state you're from, but if you just want to use Texas DOT, the Texas plates, you can. I was going to use Ohio plates, but I kept getting the runaround about what I needed to do and where I needed to go, and I just got tired of it, and I just went ahead and got the plates from Texas. I'll probably get my own plates here soon. But anyway, this is what you need to have. You need to have a scale ticket with the tractor weight alone, no trailer, just the tractor weight. So for example, mine was 19,800 pounds. You have to have proof of bobtail and liability insurance. You also have to have your Schedule 1 2290 form to have proof that you've registered your truck in that way. You have to get a Texas DOT inspection and a federal DOT inspection. You have to have both of those. As far as the Texas DOT goes, you can go to any shop you want to down there. I go to KLK, which is kind of the shop that they use, that PDP uses for their trucks. And that's where I get my Texas done. But you have to have the Texas and the federal in order to get the RPO. Now, as far as startup costs go, there's not really that many. There used to be kind of a little more if you leased a truck from them, but they don't do that anymore, and I'll get into that here in a bit. But they actually will cover, at least I think they still do, they'll cover, I want to say $800 of the startup costs. And as long as you're there for a certain amount of time, and I want to say like 6 months, then you don't have to pay it back. It's free and clear. You're good to go. Now, in those startup costs, what that would include would be things like your decals, maybe your Texas DOT, maybe some stuff with the trailer costs, if you lease a trailer from them. But there's really not a whole lot as far as startup costs go. I think my startup costs, I've been to PDP twice now. They were my first company I leased to, and then I went to another company that was all dedicated freight. And then I came back to PDP. And when I came back to PDP, I had less startup costs for whatever reason. And I actually had far below the $800 that they offer. So they actually credited that to me, and they just kind of put that in, I think they put that in my trailer escrow. Which, by the way, then, that's something you have to have is a trailer escrow, which they will deduct about $100 every week until you reach, I think, $1,200 or maybe $1,500. You can do that more in larger increments if you want to, but it's at least $100. Now, every quarter, once you sign on, they will require that you have a federal DOT inspection done at any certified shop. And they do that just to make sure that, they're less likely to have infractions, less likely to, like if they are pulled over, they're less likely to have anything found during a legitimate roadside inspection. Now they've gotten a little more strenuous with that. They want you to make sure that whenever you get that done, They write down specifically the tread depths for each tire, the slack adjuster travel, and the brake pad or the brake shoe thickness. They want all that stuff written down and sent in when you send in proof that you've done that. Now, the positive to that is they pay for it. So no matter what trailer, or no matter if if you're driving one of their trucks or pulling one of their trailers, or if you've got your truck completely, somewhere else that wasn't affiliated with PDP whatsoever, they will pay for the quarterly inspections to be done. So that's good. Now, of course, if something comes up and say something isn't working, then of course you have to pay for that. But they will pay for the inspection itself. So that's pretty helpful. It's not too bad. Now, as far as I was just talking about with the truck, they don't lease trucks anymore per se. They don't have trucks that they will. That, you can, if you sign on without a truck, you can use. What they do have now, they just opened up a dealership, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a little dealership right now, and they have trucks you can buy just like you would from any other dealership. And like I said, it's really not even affiliated with PDP in a business sense. It's just owned by the same guy. And you get first dibs on the trucks that they have. Anybody can buy the truck, from anywhere in the country, but if you want that truck, you get first dibs on it because you're with PDP. Now, as far as trucks go, you can have as many trucks signed on to PDP as you want. You can hire drivers and put them in those trucks as long as they're approved by PDP. And that's kind of nice. So you can build like a fleet under PDP, under their numbers. And it's kind of nice that way. Some people don't really consider that really building a fleet, but you can do it. As far as my personal opinion goes, I can't think of a company that's better to sign on to if you're going to sign on to a company. If you're not going to get your own authority, but you want the freedom of your own authority, PDP is definitely the one. They micromanage very little. As long as you sign your logs like you are supposed to every day, they'll leave you alone. As long as you are getting your inspections done, things like that, like you're supposed to every quarter, they'll leave you alone. And you can get loads from any load board you want to. You're not limited. You can use any load board out there, as long if it's a load board that's a broker specific load board like TQL or CH Robinson or somebody like that. If for some reason they have something against PDP, maybe too many drivers from PDP have been late or canceled on short notice or something like that, so they've temporarily blacklisted PDP to use their trucks. As long as you don't run into that, you can use any load board you want, any broker you want. Well, I won't say any broker you want. Okay, you can technically, but it's advisable that if you use a broker that you've never heard of, you go into the Apex app, because they give you a fuel card with Apex, and Apex is who we use factoring. And you can go into the Apex app and you can type in the MC number or the DOT number of the broker. I guess it'd be the MC number of the broker, and it'll tell you if they are approved for factoring with Apex. Now, if they're not, I don't know that you cannot use that broker, but it's advisable that you don't. You also get some really good fuel discounts with Apex, with TA, Petro, and a whole bunch of other smaller fuel stops. You don't get the discount that I've noticed anyway with Pilot or Flying J. It doesn't even work at a Love's, but it's a pretty good fuel card. So like I said, we use Apex, and that's who we use for factoring. Now, as far as the percentage goes here, we get 85%, and PDP, they technically only keep 12% of the 15% that we don't get. 3% of the 15% that we don't get goes to factoring. So they don't even take the 3% factoring out of our 85%. So that's nice. But what I like about it is, you can use their numbers, but build your company the way you want to build it. And I do like that flexibility. And the same, it's you can even find direct customers if you have enough trailers and whatnot, enough drivers to fulfill a contract with a direct customer. You can do it. It's fine, So they have so much flexibility with what you do as an owner-operator here. And when you go down there, they're out of Cedar Hill, Texas. It's just south of Dallas. And when you go down there, you're welcome like family. They're good people down there. Josh, who is the safety guy, he's a former driver. I don't know if he was an owner-operator with PDP, but I know he was a former driver for a while. So he knows what we actually deal with. I don't really have any huge complaints with PDP. And they're good. They're good to work with. As far as time off goes, you can take as much time off as you want. The only thing they ask for is that you let them know if you're going to be off for more than a few days, and that's only so they don't worry about where you are, so they know that you're not in your truck in the sleeper somewhere dead, basically. They want to make sure that you're safe. So if you're going to be home for if you're going to go on vacation for a week or whatever, just let them know you're going to be gone. You don't have to give them any specifics. Just say you're going to be off the road for a few days, and that'll be that. So it's very laid back. I've never felt stressed from them. I've never felt pushed anything. Pushed to do anything from them. It's just very laid back. So, anyways, I hope that helps anybody that has wanted some information on PDP. There's not a whole lot floating around about them, but they don't have a limit right now. I asked somebody there last time I was there. I said, so how many drivers do you guys want? What is your goal, as far as how many drivers or how many trucks that you have signed on here? And they just said 1,000. Right now, they've only got like 95 or so trucks. But they were like, 1,000. So they don't have a cutoff. It's not like they're going to get to 110 and not take anybody else. They want drivers. They want trucks. So if you want any more information, call PDP. Like I said, speak to Lindsay Garcia. She's a really nice person there. She'll give you all the information you want. They'll set you up with an orientation day. They'll set you up, I want to say orientation is typically on a Tuesday. They possibly do Thursdays too. Like I said, I've got no legitimate complaints. So, I hope it helps you guys out. And trucks too. I do want to mention, I'm sure a lot of drivers will want to know, they don't have an age requirement on trucks. Mine's a 2005. It's, kind of pre-emissions, but not really. It's pre-DEF and DPF and all that stuff anyway. But it was right about when they started to try to make, trucks more environmentally friendly. This has the A cert on it, so it's got the twin turbo setup, and that was done specifically to try to, appease the government's request. They have pre-e-log trucks. We use Keep Trucking app for e-logs, and if you have a pre-e-log truck, you still use the Keep Trucking app, but it's you just edit it yourself. You don't, you have full editorial power, so you don't have to, it's just like a paper log. So you'll be in a pre-e-log truck. There's several drivers that have pre-e-log trucks specifically for that reason. And it's, again, like I said, they're one of the easiest companies to work for when it comes to signing a truck onto another company. Again, if you want more information about it, call PDP themselves, talk to Lindsay Garcia. She'll give you all the information you want. But I'm going to sit here and wait to get loaded, and we will talk to you guys another time. See ya.